You want to start up?
It is always a wonder to me that God used me in your life, because by all rights, I shouldn't have been on the summer project. I was a fringer in the movement at Cru at college. I didn't like the share your faith part. I was just sort of average American Christian who sort of knew some things about their Bible. And after our weekly meeting one night, there was a special meeting. It was going to be recruiting people to a closed country, and we're going to do evangelism.
This is 1988, so this was still under communism. People did not relate to God. It was either a cultural value or this is not interesting. So my parents, they couldn't really live out their spiritual beliefs. Even though they took me to church, they did not encourage any open profession of faith. So I had no faith. I did not see God. It was not something that really captured my mind and heart.
Lake Balaton's bigger?
It's bigger, but just as beautiful as this one.
So Lake Balaton it's the largest freshwater lake in all of Eastern Europe. And so it's where college students, families, people from all different countries come to vacation. We'd approach 15, 20 people before we'd find somebody who spoke English, was going to the university, and was somewhat spiritually interested. But this day we couldn't find anybody. We had kind of the area beach that we usually were at, and we approached 20 people, 30 people. I stopped counting after 100 people, and it felt like God wasn't at work with us that day. But what he was doing was moving us down to this area of the beach where you were, kind of down at.
It was the very end of a very popular beach, but that's where my parents had a vacation home. So
we couldn't have propaganda, we couldn't have written printed materials, and so we drew out what we called the diagram, which was basically the gospel on a sheet of paper in 4 different quadrants.
I remember I wanted to get to know the God that you described. Coming from the background that I had, and having that concept and image of God that I brought, this was very different. The next day we met and continued the conversation. You asked me if I made my little step. I said yes. We began a small movement, and we see about 15 to 20 guys trust Christ and started to follow up. And there was a high demand for my graduating class because all the Western companies were coming in, hiring new management. God just laid it on my heart that the harvest is plentiful and the workers are very few in Hungary. And that spoke to my heart, so I made my decision. I came on staff. In 2006, I took over the Budapest campus ministry. And later on, I took over the Budapest Metro ministry, which is high school and college. And currently, I'm leading the student ministries in Hungary. When I was coming here to meet you and kind of relive this whole experience, this conversation, I was thinking there was no other conversation in my whole life that made such a huge and significant difference. What I do, who my wife is, my kids, what I believe, the way I look around, my worldview. It's just everything about me changed, all because of one short conversation. That is something I cannot fathom. I cannot understand. Man, thank you. You can cut this.
Yeah. Where will you go from there?